Hi guys, today we are going to be making some Mexican charro beans. It's such a popular dish in Mexican cuisine. It's served alongside Mexican food in Mexican restaurants, and it is kind of a cornerstone recipe that goes well with breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and all kinds of Mexican dishes. So I will show you, I'm serving my charro beans for breakfast on our breakfast tacos. I'll show you what those look like here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and get in the kitchen and I'll show you how to make that. Before we start the cooking process, we're going to need to soak the beans overnight or for 8 hours. And then we can go ahead and quickly cook the beans, and then they will be ready to go into our recipe for our charro beans. And then the charro beans will come together very quickly. And so the reason that you need to go through these and pick out broken ones or ones that don't look good, and sometimes you'll even find a pebble or little stones in these, because this is a natural product, you can get a little bit of debris in these. So I always make sure to pick them over real well, make sure there's nothing foreign in there, and then give them a good wash before putting them in the water to soak. So this process should be done with basically any beans or lentils. You should always pick through them and make sure there's nothing that's in there that shouldn't be, and then give them a good wash. You see guys, there it is. There is our little pebble. This was down inside these beans. Sometimes, because this is a natural product, this is not a manufactured product, this does happen. So be very careful and look through your beans and make sure there's nothing weird in there like this. So this is how much has been removed, and I'm not going to be cooking those. You can see there is our little pebble, so we are not going to be soaking and cooking and eating that. The rest of these look very good, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a good wash and get them in to soak. Okay guys, so I am going to show you how to make this super expedited version of pinto beans, and they're going to be so delicious. You can eat them by themselves just as they are, or you can add them into your recipes. So here I have the 2 cups of pinto beans. I added them to my Instant Pot. If you don't have an Instant Pot, you can always do this on the stovetop. But as you can see, the beans are now soft and plump now that they've been soaked. So here are my 2 cups. This was 2 cups when I measured them out. It's now probably about 4 cups of beans, but 2 cups of dried beans is what I am using here. And I'm gonna put about 5 cups of water, as well as one of these packets of Siete brand spicy taco seasoning mix. So taco seasoning mix, this is the brand that I prefer, but use whatever you like. And then 5 cups of water, and I'm just gonna let these cook for 35 minutes. If I had in the Instant Pot on high pressure, if I had not soaked these, I would have to cook them for over an hour, probably like closer to an hour and a half. And the texture still wouldn't be, these are gonna have a really nice soft texture when they're all done cooking. All right, so let me get these on and I'll show you what they look like. All right, so here I have added my pinto beans as well as 5 cups of water. And as discussed, in goes my packet of taco seasoning mix. I'm just gonna mix that around. All right, the lid's going on. It's gonna go for 35 minutes, high pressure, 10 minutes or 10 to 20 minutes of natural pressure release, and then the beans will be ready. I'll show you what they look like. All right guys, so our pinto beans are done, and as you can see, they look really delicious. These are nicely cooked. They have lots of flavor, and they are going to go so well in our recipes this week. I had a bunch of odds and ends in my refrigerator of onions, but you're basically going to cut up 1 whole onion, just small dice it, and add it to a saute pan with some olive oil. Next, we're going to add in some jalapeno. I used 2, but you can always cut it back if that's too spicy. I'm going to saute this for just a little while, and then as those are softening up, I'm going to dice up about 1 good-sized tomato, and then I'm going to add that into the pan along with the onions and jalapenos. I'm going to saute all of these together until soft, and as you can see, they're just getting softer and softer. And when they look like this, then we're going to go ahead and add in our beans that we cooked. These were the ones that we cooked at the beginning part of the video. We're just going to add these in by the spoonful, as much beans and liquid as you need. It should be a little bit I'm just going to slowly add this, but it should be fairly thin because we're going to allow it to cook. We're going to allow all of these ingredients to cook together. And then they will start to thicken up. You can always adjust the salt as it's starting to thicken. You can check the salt and make sure you have enough. We did put that entire packet of taco seasoning in with the beans, so it should be, in my experience, it's always salty enough, but you can adjust it if it's not. So now our charro beans are done, and we're ready to use these for breakfast or whatever other Mexican dishes you're making. Here's our beans, guys. You've got to give this a try. And here's our breakfast tacos made with our charro beans. This is just a soft corn tortilla with scrambled eggs, avocado, green salsa, and our charro beans. I think you should definitely give this a try.